Greetings, YouTube! Sometimes the stars align when you least expect it, and I swear I had no idea this was coming. I recorded a video, 5-6 hours ago, where I talked about how the game had gotten stale. How these daily cards feel like they're from January, but it's October. And yes, it is to a certain degree exciting that 8.3 is dropping, and the best of the best players will clear it within the first month, maybe the first week, maybe the first day. And then once you do that, you're like, what now? You look around because, let's be honest, the event quests, pretty boring for most people. Alliance quest, same thing. War, same thing. Incursions, same thing. Arena, definitely same thing. Only thing that's not a same thing, I feel like, is not incursions exactly, but battlegrounds. But hey, even with battlegrounds, it can be exhausting. So we need something different. And I talked about the need in that video for something sort of like what we used to get, because we no longer have, they've just stopped making back issues. Variant content is a thing of the past. And it almost feels like it's a relic of the past. If you don't do variant content, it's not even really worth it to do now, because most of the rewards are way worse than you get from doing the side quests. So it's there, kind of like Labyrinth of Legends. Even the Abyss of Legends has aged terribly. Nobody should do it for fun. That thing you can just leave alone and never miss it. And that was one of the many complaints about July 4th week offers, is that it was like, I did all this work over the years to complete or even explore things like the Abyss, and now you're telling me I don't have to do any of that? I can just swipe Unit Man's credit card and suddenly be way better off in an account that did all that? This is some BS, and it is, and yet that's the reality of the game in 2023. So in that video, I talked about how we need some challenging content for the best players that's going to give them a different feel, a different mentality, a different goal. But I had no idea that something was in the works. I just said it to say it because I've been listening to my friends in the community that are way better at the game than I am, and that I trust. Well, wouldn't you know it, we have a forum post that hit just a couple hours after recording that, titled Introducing Something New, Karina's Trial 7 for 7. Now, I am somebody who loves the fast food restaurant Wendy's because, yes, I am proud white trash, and I grew up so poor that we couldn't afford Wendy's growing up. Wendy's to me was like a steak to you middle class or better folk. So when I see 7 for 7, I think of the Wendy's 4 for 4, but it is not 2 Wendy's 4 for 4s. It's something entirely different. You see, in October, we're trying something new with a novel challenge from Karina. A number of designers were discussing how much fun new account challenges are, and we brainstormed some ideas that could infuse some of that feeling into the game without actually requiring a new account, which I appreciate, because there are many reasons why I've never done new account challenges, one of which is I just don't have the time to. But I get the appeal. It's like going from mastering every club in your golf bag to only having a couple clubs and having to go through a whole course of content. And that's kind of how I view this new Karina's Trial 7 for 7. Because when we read the following, it'll make more sense. Karina's Trial 7 for 7 represents one of those ideas. It will challenge players to complete every quest in Act 7. Now, when it says complete every quest, I read that as not explore, but maybe I'll be wrong. So if you choose the easiest path for your 7 stars, then I think that would be obviously what works. But what's interesting is it's not as easy for content creators like myself to make 7-star guides because everybody's 7-star roster is so different. I can't just be like, hey, use your Domino here, or use your Gore, or use your Wiccan, use your Killmonger. Well, a lot of people, even experienced Paragon players, are going to say, I don't have those players. And so it's going to widely vary at first who you have. Now, this is going to be permanent content, as we'll see in a second, so it's not like you can't wait to get the right counters, but people who want to do it immediately might struggle, which I guess is the whole point. The idea is that players who want to undertake the challenge will have to make so with what they have as they expand their 7-star roster, often lacking ideal counters and top meta champions. We're hoping it will feel similar to trying to work your way through Act 6 on a new account. I like that they immediately say Act 6, which honestly is harder than Act 7. It's a new concept for us, and so we wanted to be cautious about how it was implemented. As a result, the rewards were deliberately tuned to not feel mandatory. And at first I read that and thought, uh-oh, are we not even going to be able to open a 7-star crystal? Well, that fear has been put to rest. It's a challenge for those summoners who will enjoy the challenge, but it's something that can be safely skipped for those who aren't interested. This is by design. Complete all objectives to earn a total of 18,000 7-star shards, so yes, 3,000 more than the retail price for most people of 15,000 7-star shards for a crystal. 5,000 Titan crystal shards, which I'm guessing is as valuable or more valuable than the 7-star shards to the most experienced players. 3 million gold and an emote. I don't care about the gold or the emote, but the 7-star shards and the Titan crystals are cool. This content is permanent and can be completed for rewards one time. It will be releasing with the new content on October 4th, aka tomorrow or today, depending on what time you're watching this. Those of you across the pond, even though this is releasing around 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in the United States, it has been October 4th for a while. And those of you in Australia who are like 16 hours ahead of me, it's been October 4th. Well, it is October 4th, the time of recording this. So, you look at the comments on this. Though it says, edit for clarity, you have to do all the quests in order. And as with the other Karina's Act challenges, you cannot use the choice node. So Karate Mike says, nice. The Bear says, complete or explore. Brian Grant gets some trash talk, sort of. Not kidding when I say it's the coolest challenge I've ever seen in the game. Adore this and hope for similar stuff in the future. Rocky Shocky says, so what would be considered mandatory rewards? These rewards seem pretty mandatory in order to receive a Titan Crystal. I mean, I guess, but the Titan Crystal is probably not going to make or break your roster. Rewards could be better. Better make them mandatory, as per your words, rather than being soft on them. Is permanent content at the end of the day, and above all, is free to play, Ebony Omal says. Massive Kabam W, though. So, there's always going to be skeptics and haters. But it seems like the majority of comments are pretty pumped up about this. Including Akbar67 that says, this sounds absolutely amazing. I really miss the feeling of pushing through Act 5 and 6, having to meticulously plan every path to minimize item cost. I think I'll try to do it itemless as a fun challenge too. I don't want to speak too soon, but this sounds like the most fun for me since Summer of Eternity of Pain. Well, some things put the FU in fun, Akbar67, and that was not fun for me, but I'm glad it was fun for you. Is there a new tech in that requires you to have joined the mission with all 7 stars? It would be unfortunate if this was just 24 easiest lanes with Hercules and then 24 bosses with 7 stars. I read it as you can only bring in 7 stars. Danksor, which Hercules is not a 7 star, so I don't think that comment holds up. Anything new and original? Awesome. Having a Titan Crystal is a mandatory. All this I agree. So, yes. It's different. It's what a lot of people who are a lot better than I'll ever be at this game have been asking for, and Kabam listened. This is amazing. And look, this isn't necessarily for me. I don't even know if I'll do it. But my channel is not to voice just what I want. It's to voice what the community wants. And I think these comments are a representation that people are excited, and I'm excited to post a video about it. So thank you as always for supporting my channel. Happy October, everybody. This is not a trick this time. It's a treat, and a good one at that.